The following takes place after the conclusion of Live Another Day.
This is the last time we've seen Jack Bauer on screen, flying on a helicopter along with Russian operatives towards a destination and fate unknown. For years now, the viewers have been left without a satisfactory closure for Bauer's journey, one that started 24 years ago. Here, we will try to analyze and figure out what happened to Jack Bauer after this fateful moment, and provide a fitting theoretical continuation of the story based on observational evidence presented on the show and the 24 expanded universe. Following the resurfacing of Jack Bauer at the beginning of Day 9 in London.
Freeze it right there. It's Bauer.
And Mark Boudreau's rushed decision to orchestrate the delivery of Bauer to the Russians, including forging the president's signature. And we are introduced to Anatol Stalnovich, a cunning covert intelligence operative assigned as Russian deputy foreign minister in London. Stalnovich quickly deduced that Boudreau forged the transfer order, and he used that to blackmail him into assisting him with acquiring Bauer on the same day.
Forging a president's signature would be considered an act of treason. What do you think will happen to your career, to your marriage, if you are found out?
It is later revealed he was friends with Novakovich, a victim of Bauer in Day 8, which explains his motivation as personal vendetta.
Responsible for murdering my good friend Mikhail Novakovich and attempting to assassinate.
We can assume he rushes to get Bauer first and as quickly as possible, so that he could potentially exact his revenge and terminate the hero before higher authorities in Russia get to him. Out of fear they might want Bauer in a healthy condition. Evidence that supports this theory is the attack by men sent by Stalnovich, where they ram the vehicle of Jack and Kate with a truck and engage them in a firefight, showing no interest in capturing anyone alive. This is completely different from the group that exchanges Chloe for Jack at the end of the series. Leading to the conclusion, there are at least two separate groups of Russian operatives involved, and they have disparate plans for Bauer. Stalnovich's faction shows no regard for Bauer's well-being. They want him gone, apparently by any means necessary. Granted, ideally they'd probably want him captured and punished for extensive periods of time before they get rid of him, but it looks like they'd also jump at the opportunity to take him out. As in the attack before 9 p.m., a possible explanation for this decision-making is that Stalnovich and his men are outranked in Russia who want Bauer alive, and well, for their purposes. Quite the opposite of Stalnovich and his associates, the second group seems to be much more formal, better trained too, judging by their tactical positioning at the exchange site, and their leader shows a rather respectful attitude towards Bauer. Chloe appears unharmed. The visible cuts and bruises are from the previous night, so the blood Jack noticed at the docks wasn't her own. She probably put up a fight, and yet the operatives managed to keep her safe. Another stark contrast with what people under Stalnovich's command would have done. There is some critical information that can be extracted from the final dialogue between Jack and the assumed leader of the second group. Jack notes he has taken him at his word, but if he is lying, and anything happens to Chloe or Jack's family.
But if you're lying to me, if anything happens to her or my family, your entire world will come apart and you will never see it coming.
Measures were taken for reciprocal retaliation to occur. How would Jack pull this off is left unclear. But given the 12-hour gap, he had plenty of time to study and identify who he is dealing with and pay contractors to conduct such a thing, likely commanded by Belchek or other people loyal enough to do it. There is some familiarity in Bauer's tone, indicating he knows who he's talking to. The other man maintains a stoic expression, but he knows this is no idle threat. He assures Jack they only want him. What he says next is very curious. He claims he would say Jack is going to enjoy Moscow, but Jack knows he was lying.
I would say you're going to enjoy Moscow, but you'd know I was lying.
One possible interpretation of this sentence is, in your place, I'd enjoy what is about to happen in Moscow, but I know you won't. By now, there are a number of reasons to believe these Russians want to use Jack's skill and expertise, and this is why the man would be happy with that as it benefits Russia, while Jack, being an American citizen, obviously will not. There are still some things to analyze in this final scene. We can easily ascertain Jack and Belchek are at a complete tactical disadvantage here. The Russians have a strong armed force concentrated around the helicopter, as well as gunmen at key elevated positions all around the area. If they wanted, they could take out everyone involved on the spot. They clearly need Jack alive, and Chloe and Belchek are able to flee the area safely, for now. Notice how they never checked Jack for any concealed weaponry, nor did anything to restrain him. There are no cuffs and chains, and Jack is free to make a move at any time. In the 2014 Comic-Con, Kiefer Sutherland and John Cassar revealed one of the alternative endings of the series.
You know, you, John, and I were sitting there. We thought, well, maybe for the DVD, we'll just have Jack pull out a hand grenade in the helicopter and just blow it up.
Described Jack pulling a grenade and destroying the helicopter and everyone in it mid-air. But Howard Gordon intervened and prevented such a nonsense ending from happening. Why would such an ending make no sense? The explanation is simple. In the dialogue earlier, it was implied Jack's family is threatened as well, meaning if Jack attempts anything, Russian operatives will get to Kim, Chloe, and whoever else they want. A sacrificial move by Jack. Only take out a few members in the helicopter, as the rest will be able to carry out a revenge plot against Jack's close ones, and there'll be no one left to protect them. Clearly, Jack must cooperate to keep the people he cares about safe. Now, why would the Russians go through all of this, instead of just doing what Stalnovich would have done? The first logical conclusion is they serve loyally the President Suvorov and have to deliver Jack to be sent on a public trial and given a severe sentence. The Russian state gaining minor political dividends from sentencing a foreign operative who took action against their country's leadership. However, there are a number of factors that weigh heavily in Bauer's favor during a potential trial. Additionally, the gains for Russia are minimal. Even if we assume Suvorov wants to keep Jack locked and incapable of retaliating for Renee Walker's death in Day 8, which Suvorov himself sanctioned, there's no reason to keep Bauer alive. I could argue the Russians would stage a humiliating trial, shortly after organize some sort of accident in prison that results in Bauer's end. Bauer has gained significant merit from his actions towards the country of Russia as a whole. A fair trial, a risky endeavor. The Russians would have to be aware of that by now. Another thing the Russians would know is that Jack withstood affliction in China for nearly 2 years, so they know such an approach wouldn't work. Bauer's history gives him a number of advantages in Russia. Jack prevented the Russian separatists from acquiring and using the Centox to bring Moscow to their knees in Day 5. This action alone probably gained him a renowned status among some of the intelligence services worldwide, Russian included, as Dmitry Gridenko in Day 6 acknowledges he knows Bauer too well.
I know all about you, Agent
By
Bauer.
Day 9, Bauer's accomplishments had made him well known among specialized forces, as Eric Ritter noted how people studied his past missions and training. At the time of Day 9, Bauer was famous for his competence and extraordinary achievements on the global scene. Having just averted a drone strike in the UK, if he is announced to be facing judgment in Russia, that would most certainly spark international controversy. But his merits toward Russia do not end with the events of Day 5. During Day 6, Bauer foiled the plans of Dmitry Gridenko and Anatoly Markov to use old Soviet weapons on American soil while blaming Abu Fayyad's terrorist cell for it. Even though this plan was in the interests of Russia, Markov was also involved in the Centox conspiracy in Day 5. He aligns with the separatists, so Jack Bauer exposing Markov should gain him additional favor with the Russian government side. Furthermore, by Day 6, Suvorov would undoubtedly be aware that Logan was the mastermind of the Centox conspiracy. It says Logan knew Russia's involvement in the events of Day 8. During Day 6, it was revealed Russia has an extended spy network, one that keeps Moscow well informed on what is going on in the US. It is curious to note that despite knowing this, Suvorov and Logan remained on friendly terms. This goes to show that Suvorov, as well as Logan, is pragmatic and understands the rules of the political game. Both have taken actions of questionable morality against the other's country, yet remain respectful of one another. Unlike Stalnovich or other close friends of Novakovich, Suvorov wouldn't take Bauer's rampage in Day 8 personally, would rather use it as a pretext to secure Bauer's cooperation. After all, it is thanks to Bauer that the peace treaty in Day 8 wasn't signed. So what does all that mean for Jack Bauer's future in Russia? There will probably be an official trial where Bauer would be judged for his actions in Day 8. Notably the carnage of Novakovich and his security detail. Bauer's defense would accentuate on the merit and services he has done, whether intended or not, for the Russian state. Eventually, his sentence would be reduced, altered to a certain amount of time of social labor. Another pretext to employ a highly experienced man like Jack Bauer to train Russian special forces. This is something the highest level operatives in Moscow have pre-planned and orchestrated in advance, realizing full well Bauer's potential. He will likely be given the opportunity to live a semi-normal life in Russia while being monitored by some degree. He might be under close surveillance by top agents or just have an ankle GLONASS tracker, and Russians will know where he is all the time. Nope. The stipulation that if Jack goes rogue, Russians will go after his close ones may still be in effect, which is the best leverage they have on Bauer. It is even possible that Jack has a happy life outside of his work, since his family is safe so long as he does what is required of him. He can be left to do what he wants in his free time. This hypothesis explains a number of plot holes. We now see why Stalnovich was rushing to get to Bauer first, why the second group was acting so differently than Stalnovich's men, and why Suvorov doesn't simply sanction Bauer's termination, which could solve his problem once and for all. We need to keep in mind that Suvorov's position in his country isn't secure as well, since it is explained in that book that covered the day after day 8, briefly removed from power, indicating in order to solidify his position, Suvorov must display qualities and act in the best interests of his country. And assuring someone like Bauer to provide training for Russian special agents will be a beneficial move in the public's eyes. Such turn of events would be a convenient setup for a continuation of the series. We can see an older Bauer who has accepted the reality of the situation and lives a normal life in Russia while training local operatives. He complies, thus protecting the people he cares about, and still gets to combat terrorists. A new cast of agents can be introduced who could employ Bauer's antics as they have been personally trained by him, which is an effective way to pass on the torch toward the next generation of special agents. It's possible to have a plot where Bauer's team competes with a generic CTU team where Bauer's team performs better, demonstrating the importance of being properly trained under the right people. A situation where he, once again, saves the day, time with the help of the locals he trained. And this would finally earn him the freedom to return to the US and reunite with his family. Or it could make a somber turn and continue to add tragedies in Bauer's life, which is a wrong direction. That would further promote apathy and nihilism among the viewers. There is no point in being heroic if there is no rewarding positive impact at the end of the day, which is why the story of Bauer should end with a message of hope, giving the protagonist a fitting good ending after all the price he paid for saving countless lives.
Hi everyone, we really hope you enjoyed our first project. Please leave your comments on the video with your ideas, perspectives, and what you would like to see next from us. We noticed that despite being a huge success, 24 has been missing out on the action that shows like Prison Break, Breaking Bad, Dexter, and many more have managed to cling to. This lack of 24 content, discussion, and immediate coverage in recent times may begin to explain why the reboot that fans so desperately want is taking a little longer than we had all hoped for. So part of our goal is to bring back 24 into the public eye. Remind old fans why they fell in love with the series, and show new fans why it's worthy of a revival. This is why our small group, with fans from all across the world, are trying to keep 24's legacy alive for future generations. You can help us make a difference by joining our 24 Discord and Reddit groups in the links down below. There, you can chat with us about 24 and collaborate with us on future projects. If you would like to provide further help with our projects, funding would be greatly appreciated, which you can do in the other link down below. No matter how much you donate, whatever you do, it is greatly appreciated by our team here. And last but certainly not least, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe to keep up with our latest 24 content.